The emotional leader of the Giants returns today. Need a speech to pump you up? Listen to Hunter Pence. Yes. Need somebody to lead a movement? Follow Hunter Pence. Need a spark to get out of a horrible start to the second half? Well, the Giants hope Hunter Pence is the answer once again. He returns against the Nationals today. Next. We've got day baseball here at AT Park. We've got a beautiful Saturday afternoon for Game 3 of this 4-game series, Nationals and Giants. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Giants have lost 3 straight, 2 against these Nationals, who are very good, and they need to win. So what do you get? You get 2 new guys in the lineup, Pence and Nunez, and you got Jake Peavy on the hill.
Well, and I think Hunter Pence is the guy that everybody's been anticipating his return, and he's energy. They need some energy right now, because right now everybody is a soloist up and down that lineup. They need to start trusting one another, and they need a lot of things to happen right now. I'm not saying that Hunter Pence is the answer to all those problems, but we did see a white horse parked out in the players' parking lot.
That's right, and Hunter Pence put it there. All right. Should be fun today. Nunez is in the lineup, and he's leading off. We will have the lineups on the very first pitch of this game right after this.
Area is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Jack's Brewhouse Bacon Burger today at Jack in the Box. Limited time only at participating restaurants. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, here at the ballpark, it's Lego Day, as we have Legos all over the place. And it's always a fun day here at the yard for the kids and the adults. Our game, Hunter Pence coming out. Welcome back, Hunter Pence. Our Game Time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Great time to get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily as Hunter Pence taking his bows in right field. 63 degrees. Winds at 11 miles per hour. Humidity is fairly high, and it is sunny. All right, let's take a look at the lineup for the Washington Nationals, written out by former Giant Dusty Baker. It'll be Turner, Ben Revere, and then Bryce Harper. And you can see he's chilly right now. Rendon, Worth, and Zimmerman. Espinoza back at short, followed by Severino, and then the Rook, Lopez, on the hill.
On the hill today for the Giants will be the veteran Jake Peavy, 6'1", 180-pounder. He's 35 years of age. 2007 Cy Young Award winner, 3-time All-Star, making start number 21 on the year, 5-9 with a 5.42 ERA. When you take your at-bats against Peavy, you're going to see a 88 to 90-ish fastball with sink and cut. He's got a curveball slider and a changeup from a low 3/4 release. And lifetime against this national team, he's 5-6. That's in 13 starts with a 4.07 ERA. And what do you say we take a look at the defense playing behind Peavy today? Starting the Giants outfield from left to right, it'll be Pagan, Blanco, and welcome back Hunter Pence, the best arm with Pence in right field. Nunez playing shortstop today. Crawford with a day off, joined by Gillespie on the left side. Panic and Belt on the right side. Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
So here we go as Trey Turner's getting ready to stand in. And the first pitch of the ball game is on its way, and it's a called strike. 106. Turner hitting .327, very fast, and he bounces this one up the middle for a base hit. So Turner got a pitch out over the plate and smacks it into center field. So now you got to deal with speed. So as Hunter Pence taking the field. And while the fans acknowledged him, he acknowledged them, like he always does.
Well, he's got a pretty special relationship with folks out there in right field. And a lot of respect from the fans in the stands as well. Special player. Glad to see he's back healthy. Has overcome his hamstring tear, which required surgery.
So here's Ben Revere. And the first pitch to Ben Revere is down low. So right out of the gate, Jake Peavy has to get into the stretch. Ben Revere 1 for 4 in the game yesterday. Scored a run, knocked in a run. And that's significant when the Nationals only scored 4 times. Turner with speed. He does not go. And there's a pitch low and away. This is called by home plate umpire Chad Fairchild.
And Fairchild's kind of got a rule booked strike zone. Doesn't have big corners. You'll see low strikes. You'll see some strikes at the belt. But you just don't get a lot of width on his strike zone.
Quick toss, Turner back. Panic and Nunez are your double play combination this afternoon. Crawford getting a day. And now Turner had a running lead and they have no chance. So Turner with his 7th steal.
Let's take a look at the jump that he had. He had like 2.5 skips into a takeoff, and the last thing you do when you're in that stretch position is, you check that runner and make sure he's stopped. That's the last thing you do. Then you go home.
And there's a bunt attempt, which really isn't surprising at all. It's 2-2. Not a bunt to sacrifice, a bunt for a hit. As Dusty Baker looks on with Harper to follow. The scores in the first 2 games: Nationals 4, Giants 2 on Thursday, and 4-1 last night. Giants have not been able to come up with a lot of offense. And there's a rocket right at Panic.
Nice play, Joe Panic. And right now we're going to take a look at our Nissan keys to the game. And number one, we're going to welcome back Hunter Pence. He's a key. Get him back in the lineup. And number two, we'll welcome in Eduardo Nunez. He's getting his first start in a Giants uniform. He'll be at shortstop today. So we think those two guys are our Nissan keys to the game.
So you got the welcome wagon out.
Absolutely. I got a whole bucket full of coupons for him too.
Don't come up here. We'll bring him down. Harper hitting at 235. Harper went 0 for 3 last night. Had an opposite field hit in the game on Thursday. And right now, Peavy has to keep an eye on Turner, with Turner not being able to move to second on the ball hit by Revere. He may think that he can steal it. It's kind of the double whammy for a pitcher. You got to worry about the guy at second with great speed and the guy at the plate with great power.
You're right. A lot going on. But you've got to control it. It's what a pitcher learns to do at this level. And the speed up here, it's the fastest speed in the world. And you have to be able to control it.
So it's a ball and no strikes to Harper. Harper pops it up. It's going to be Pagan or Nunez, and it's Pagan. And Pagan puts it away. And that'll bring up Rendon.
That's one thing about the power guys. I mean, when they hit a pop-up, they usually give you some time to get underneath it. And that was way up there. Definitely a home run in a milk bottle.
So here's Rendon. Rendon hitting 260. He's got 12 home runs. He's got 39 runs batted in.
And he likes the first pitch.
And he is in the cleanup spot today. Peavy, couple of looks. And a strike. And this is now where you want to keep an eye on Trey Turner, but if you're a middle infielder, you also don't want to give up too much ground.
Yeah, it's not as important to hold a runner at second on with 2 outs as it is with 1 out. So you can sag back a bit as a middle infielder.
Low.
And the reason for it, if a guy steals you a base with 2 outs, I mean, you get the guy out, inning over. But if he steals a third and there's 1 out, now a ground ball up the middle, if you play your infield back, or a fly ball can score him. So 1 out, 2 out, totally different when you have a runner at third base.
Rendon's only had 1 lifetime at bat against Peavy. Swinging a foul off of Posey's glove. It's 1-2. On deck is Jason Worth. Not surprised at all that Rendon has only had 1 at bat. I am surprised that Worth has only had 1 at bat. So Turner, who opened up the inning with a base hit, is at second. Got him, and that'll end the inning. Peavy, good job as he pitches through the leadoff single and then stolen base. Giants are coming up. Nunez, welcome aboard. Giants. And here's Bruce Bochy's lineup, a little different. It'll be Eduardo Nunez to lead it off, followed by Pagan, Gillespie, and Buster Posey. Hunter Pence, he's back, and Hunter Pence is hitting 5th. Then it's Belt, Panik, Blanco, and Jake Peavy.
So our first chance to check out Reynaldo Lopez, making his second start in the big league level. This is what he did against the Dodgers. He kind of got romped around a little bit. 10 hits, 6 earned runs, but look at the strikeouts. In 4 2/3, he had 9, and you're going to see a fastball that's mid to high 90s, more highs than mids. He got a good curveball changeup combination. They're all swing and miss pitches.
So here's Eduardo Nunez, who's had 1 at bat with the Giants, and that was a pinch hit appearance in the 9th inning yesterday. And here he takes a strike.
Lopez, 22 years of age, 6 feet tall, 185 pounds, out of the Dominican Republic.
There's a base hit up the middle for Nunez.
Let's check out the Nationals defensively, playing behind Lopez, starting in the outfield from left to right. It'll be Worth, Revere, and Harper. Really good arms on the corners. Espinosa, Rendon on the left side. Turner, Zimmerman on the right side. Pedro Severino, he'll be in the squad putting down the signs.
So here's Pagan. Pagan had 2 hits last night. Had an 0 for 4 on Thursday. Check that, had an 0 for 5 on Thursday. With good speed at first. Remember, Nunez has got 27 steals. I mean, the highest steal number for the Giants is 9, and that's by span. Until now. He goes in the dirt to the backstop. Nunez with his first steal in a Giants uniform.
I don't think it would have made a difference if he caught it and got off a good throw. I mean, that's a great jump. And that is quick to go right there.
Wow.
Belly slide. That, folks, is energy.
So you're looking at 2 guys standing next to each other that have singled and stolen second in this inning. So Nunez now with a total of 28. And Pagan pops it up. Shading his eyes is Rendon. And he puts it away.
So a non-productive out and a disappointing at bat for Angel Pagan. Take a look at how he shades his eyes with his glove. Now he has no glasses on, but that technique, very effective. That's our Exmo, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Just a tip for you kids. Use your glove to shade your eyes from the sun.
So here's Gillespie. Now you would think that, like Turner in the top of this inning, Nunez, if they're not holding him close, he could take off. And I think he thought about it, and that pitch is low. 1 ball and no strikes. Espinosa is the defender that's trying to keep Nunez close.
Spin move.
You know, here's the thing about Nunez. I mean, he's playing short. He's an infielder, and he knows what the shortstop is doing behind him because he does the same thing. You can sometimes, out of the corner of your eye, get a feel of when that shortstop is headed back to his position. Foul back, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Good change up there. If you have good peripheral vision, it's such an asset if you're a base runner.
And really, it's up to Espinosa to get right behind the runner, so you can't use that. Down low. Plus, if you're Nunez, you're kind of out there thinking, I'm thinking that a wild pitch could happen at any time.
At any time. And I think you have to anticipate that very thing wherever you are on the base pass. Anticipate that ball in the dirt. Take your secondary lead and anticipate it.
Out of play. It's 2-2. Pretty good attitude.
That's their natural hair.
That would be a scoop.
Yep. Them too.
Gillespie is 4 for 7 in this series.
You think they had fun putting their hair on today?
I think they did.
You and I have to try that.
Got him.
So the first time he sees his curveballs in a 2-strike situation, and it's a good one.
So here's Buster Posey.
I mean, that's a swing and miss curveball. He drops it right down and in. And Gillespie, like a lot of guys with flat swings, that's an area of vulnerability when you've got a sharp breaking curveball like that. It's a swing better suited for the slider than it is for the curveball.
Night off last night for Buster Posey. He did pinch hit and drew a walk. Posey, high drive, right center field. On the move is Ben Revere, and he's going to track it down in right center field. And that's going to end the inning. So Buster Posey gives it a ride, and Ben Revere puts it in the sweet spot. It remains 0-0.
Area is brought to you by AAA. Get a free road trip day pack with a AAA insurance quote. Go to AAA.com/road trip or a AAA branch for details. Restrictions apply.
Well, interleague play is back, and the Giants will take on the Orioles Friday the 12th through the 14th. The 13th, you can come out to the ballpark early on Sunday as the Giants honor Hall of Famer Gaylord Perry. The statue unveiling of Gaylord, the ceremony begins at 1 p.m. The first 20,000 fans are going to receive a replica Perry statue, courtesy of Coca-Cola. sfgiants.com/tickets. Here's Worth, and Worth takes low. 1 ball and no strikes. Worth, Zimmerman, Espinoza. And Worth takes a strike. Worth last night went 2 for 3, had an RBI, 1 for 5 on Thursday. He had a great at bat against Samardzija yesterday.
He did. A lot of pitches wound up going the opposite way, knocking in a run. And that's what he'll do. I mean, he's a very patient hitter. He's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. And he uses the whole field. I mean, you really can't stack up one side of the field against him.
Worth swings and misses. Posey's going to track it down and throw, and it's not in time. So Worth is aboard on the strikeout.
So strikeout, wild pitch. And the Nationals get their leadoff hitter on base. Good breaking ball. And Posey kind of shortstops the glove, and it hits him low in the heel, and it kicks away. And with worse speed, I mean, you're really not going to allow much of an opportunity despite a strong arm. Just didn't make a difference.
So here's Zimmerman. Zimmerman fouls the first pitch back, hitting .220. Lots of power, 12 home runs, 38 driven in. 2 for 5 on Thursday. And went 0 for 1 when he came in late in the game last night. He has faced Peavy 6 times. He's 1 for 6.
Peavy wanted it. Thought he had that outside corner at the knees. You just don't get a lot of corner strikes with Chad Fairchild's strike zone. And I think because of that, you really would call him more of a hitter's umpire than a pitcher's umpire.
Runs that one inside for a ball. Worth has 4 steals. He's 4 out of 5. Peavy at the belt. Worth with his lead. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Good look at the breaking ball and how quick and how late breaking it was from behind home plate. And that's the beauty of a good slider. I mean, a lot of hitters, their first instinct when they see that pitch coming at them is to hit the fastball, and all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. The only tip off is the spin on the ball, and a lot of pitchers don't tip their slider with the spin. I won't say a lot, but some. Guys like Sergio Romo, George Cantos, they don't really give you the normal little dot you see on the slider. But for Peavy, it's always been a good kill pitch for him, especially against righties.
It's a payoff pitch. We'll see if Worth goes. He does. Swinging a high foul down the right field line and out of play. On deck is Espinoza. So a 3-2 pitch coming up. And the runner goes. Swinging a pop up. Shallow right field. It's going to be up to Panic because Pence isn't going to get there. Pence picks it up and throws, and they got him. You can see how that was developing because Worth really was racing back to first. because he was moving on the pitch. And when you're doing that, you really can't pick up the ball to see where it's at.
Well, nice job of coming in for Hunter Pence. I mean, he broke a back on the ball in right field. So right here, the Giants catch a break, barehander, and a good strike over to Nunez to get the force out. It's just a tough situation to be in if you're a base runner. But the bottom line is you got two guys coming in on the play, and one guy picked the other one up.
Espinosa takes high and wide.
And if there's one good thing that is coming out of it is that Worth was faster than Zimmerman, so they get a little less speed on the base pass with Zimmerman first.
Middle infielders are smart, man.
That's right.
The 1-0 to Espinosa, swinging a foul that got Buster Posey. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's the one thing about Buster is when he's disgusted, he'll let you know it. And he's been hit in that spot about 4 times in the last 2 weeks.
The arch on the right foot.
Remember, he fouled one off that same spot, didn't he?
Now he kind of got the top of his toes with the foul, but it wasn't long ago that he got one in the exact same spot in the catcher's stance. So basically that right foot's taking a beating.
1-2. Zimmerman with a short lead. Belt holding him tight. 2-2. This is game 6 of this homestand. Final game will be tomorrow before the Giants take off. Got him.
Front door, see ya.
Check in with Amy G. Amy, good news?
Yeah, good news. I got a lot of news actually to make room for Pence on that active roster. The Giants had to designate Ramiro Pena for assignment. That's not great news. Bochy actually said that was very hard to do. He's done a very good job. Crawford Span just getting a rest day. That's pretty good news. They're a little bit sore. They're a little bit banged up, getting a day off. Really good news, guys. Matt Duffy starting a rehab assignment today, scheduled to play 5 innings with the River Cats. Right?
All right. Yeah, the only part about that, and Amy's right, is what a great job Ramiro Pena did. Look, he walked out of the ballpark with his equipment hitting .299 with a home run and 10 RBIs. You can't ask for anything better than that.
No, you cannot. I mean, that's more than a Band-Aid. That's a guy who made contribution. And he made contribution with the glove as well.
And you could say the same thing when Grant Green walked out. Here's Severino, and a swing and a miss. Severino doing the catching.
So now what happens is they get designated for assignment and they have a chance to be picked up by other clubs. If at that point they don't after 10 days, then the Giants can bring them back into their organization, which is the hope, given what we saw with all 3 of the guys, Green, Tejada, and Pena.
And I guess it's happened with Tejada.
Tejada has accepted it, and he's back in AAA.
1-2.
Well, I mean, these players have all been around and they know the deal, and it would be their hope then that when the Giants expand their roster in September, they may be one of the guys who they come up with and add to the roster.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Quick toss. Zimmerman back.
And all 3 guys made contribution.
One and 2. Well, On the ground towards the hole and under the glove of both Gillespie and Nunez. And that'll put runners at first and second with the pitcher coming up.
Little CNI base hit. You get a hit like that in your first at bat. Are you figuring you're golden the rest of the day?
I'm going 4 for 4, and maybe if I get that fifth at bat. But because when he leaves the bat, you're thinking, well, the third baseman's got it. Nope. Shortstop's got it. Nope. And now here's the most dangerous hitter in the park because you don't know what he can do. And he takes a pretty good hack.
Well, and the kids from the Dominican Republic, you figure they all have had a bat in their hand for a long time. I mean, the baseball season in the Dominican Republic starts in January and it ends on New Year's Eve. That's all they do is play baseball, so everybody knows how to hit.
0-2. At second is Zimmerman, and then Severino with the base hit. Got him, and that'll end the inning. So Peavy strikes out the side. Hey, Hunter Pence is going to lead things off, followed by Belt and Panic. It's 0-0. Turn. Hunter says, I play the game with a lot of emotion and a lot of energy. Yes, that's true. Hopefully I can pour as much of that vibe onto the field and give everybody a little boost. Yes, and I intend to come ready to help. What a shot for Hunter Pence.
Think they miss this guy?
They do. And they're standing. That's going to make you feel good as a player, doesn't it?
Well, they know how important he is on the field, in the clubhouse. And really, as they've gotten to know Hunter Pence, they figured that out, that it goes into the community as well.
I would be shocked if he didn't swing at the first pitch and his helmet didn't fall off.
Yeah, well, I agree. And he could throw a 4-hopper and he still might swing at it.
So here's the pitch to Pence. And he takes a fastball for a called strike. Belt to follow, and then Panic. And that pitch is way outside. Lopez is going, really? All right, I'll show you what I got too, folks.
Well, Lopez is still learning who everybody is in this league. A change up there. And remember, Pence has never seen him. And this kid's got a good curveball too.
Well, here's the fastball in, which is always a little scary with these young guys that throw 96.
Yeah, don't overthrow and throw a heat seeker into him. We already went through that 2 springs ago.
Breaking ball, and Pence was all over it. Pence, by the way, if he hadn't been called up soon, was on his way to making the Pacific Coast League All-Star team, because he was tearing it up.
He was tearing it up.
Breaking ball hit well to left. Back is Worth at the wall, and it is off the wall. Pence is on the move, and he's got a double.
Pence thought he had a home run. Lopez threw him 1 curveball too many. A little slip out of the box. Almost overruns first.
Yeah, you know what, Mike, and I think he's probably still taking just a little easy, especially after that.
Well, a little bit of a hanger. Catches the bottom of it, sort of backspins it. Worth almost comes up with a brilliant play.
So here's Belt. Belt takes a pitch wide, 1 ball and no strikes. I was about to say, I bet you Pence's heartbeat is, but you know what? It's like that all the time.
All the time.
It's Pete all the time. Swing.
First time Brandon Belt has seen the curveball.
Two balls and a strike, so this is the 2nd inning in a row the Giants have had a runner at second with nobody out. Belt hitting at a 280 clip. 3-1.
First time you see it, use your education. Second time you see it, now you identify it, you can lay off of it.
Pence with a short lead at second. And Belt takes the walk. Here's Joe Panik. Giants welcome back Joe Panik on Thursday. Thursday was Roark. Yesterday Scherzer. Today Lopez. 3 pretty good ones to welcome Joe Panik back. Panik not wasting any time. A swing and a foul. Blanco on deck. Pence at second. Belt at first. Outside, it's a ball and a strike. By the way, the Nationals did acquire the Pirates closer Mark Melancon before the game. So Melancon, who's having a terrific season, an all-star, probably will be here tomorrow. 1-1 pitch to Panik. Panik hits a high fly ball. Pence is thinking about tagging as Revere comes in. He's going to make the catch. And Joe Panik is retired.
Well, there's the deal that Kai's talking about. Nationals today deal with the Pirates. And Mark Melancon, their closer, with 30 saves, is going to be here. He'll be here tomorrow. Pirates get Felipe Rivero. Giants saw him in last night's ball game. And then Taylor Hearn, another lefty. Last night it was Rivero. Started things off in the ninth. He did not get the save.
Yeah, he got 2 outs and he gave up a hit. Here's Blanco. Blanco 2 hits last night. And a swing and a miss, and it's no balls and 1 strike. So Lopez mixing up his pitches. Peavy's on deck. On the ground, foul right behind Billy Hayes, and it's now 0-2.
Brad Hallsworth, our ball dude, making a nice play. Not a bit.
So Billy's brother was a ball dude last night, huh?
Yeah, Brian. There's Darryl Galt over on the third base side. That's an old player right there. He's a Rawlings guy.
0-2 to Blanco. Got him.
96-mile-an-hour fastball up above the strike zone with movement away, and he could not lay off.
So here's Peavy.
Absolute glorious day here in the Bay Area.
Peavy is 5 for 27 on the season. And he takes a strike.
Peavy swinging the bat well, having a good year with the bat. Pitcher gets up around 200. He's having a good season.
Look out. Shocked. Peavy got out of the way of that.
One thing as a pitcher, you never expect to get drilled.
No, you don't.
Ever. Especially in the National League, and there's one reason for it, because if he drills you, then you can drill him. That hit the shirt. That hit his shirt.
I think it did. Breaking ball, 2 balls and 1 strike. It must have been that Peavy didn't hear it.
Watch it just clip the shirt. Just skimmed his jersey. That's one you won't feel either. Lopez is aiming the ball. That happens when you're a pitcher thinking, I can't walk this guy, and what do? You walk him.
So 3-2 as he threw that ball at 97.
That's an easy 97. As we mentioned, Lopez not a big guy, 6 feet tall, built more like a shortstop than a starting pitcher.
Peavy stays alive.
Fought off 98, and it was 98 with some pain. That was not a mistake to location.
Well, as shallow as Harper is playing in right field, it'll be tough for Pence to be able to score on a base hit to right. And swinging a foul.
Probably ball 4, but at that velocity, when you're in the protect mode, you're going to try and get after it. So one thing about being a pitcher is you don't get enough reps to really have a definitive strike zone like an everyday player would have.
And another 3-2 pitch. And he walked it.
It's a great at bat. And he fought off some nastiness to get the walk. So Mike Maddox going to come out and talk to his 22-year-old right-hander. You don't get any pitching coach coming out to a 22-year-old, the bases loaded, chewing on him. You always talk very slow, very low tones, pat him on the back, tell him it's going to be good, trust your stuff. Now, if it's a veteran who's been around the game 10, 11 years, you may see a different tone. You may get a little bark in that exchange between the pitching coach and the pitcher, but not Lopez, not at 22, and not today in this situation.
So Nunez is going to hit. He singled up the middle to open up the bottom of the first. So now all these hitters have seen Lopez at least one time. And he takes a pitch wide, 1-0.
Nunez with power. 12 bombs on the year. He had 47 RBIs. I mean, he was having a strong first half, which is why I put him on the American League All-Star team.
2 balls and no strikes, and now Nunez can lean on one ahead in the count. And he's probably going to throw the same pitch that he threw Peavy, 3-1. And it's out of play.
He came at him with 98. And that is not exactly running up there with a pair of shower shoes on. 98's 98.
Well, let's see if he decides to go at him again with a fastball 2-1. And this little pop-up should get him out of the inning. And it does. The top of the third coming up.
Now for our forward right choice, and we think that Jake Peavy is our forward right choice. Why is that? Well, second inning, he winds up striking out the side. He gets Worth. That starts the inning out on a wild pitch. He goes to first. Then with Danny Espinosa, he strikes him out, and in the end, he gets Lopez, the pitcher, and that's a strike him out, 3 out, forward right choice.
Here's Turner. Turner takes a strike. Turner led off the ball game with a base hit. Hit a sharp ground ball up the middle. Speed, Turner, and Ben Revere. And that's now 0-2. Giants are 0 for 6 today with runners in scoring position. They're 1 for 21 in this series.
Just keep setting the table. That's all you can do. Sooner or later, we break out. It's when you're not creating opportunities when you start to really worry.
One and two. Dodgers and D-backs will play tonight.
It's great we had the camera on Hunter Pence. I mean, he never stops moving out in right field. He is perpetual motion.
Got him. Back up on him. The Orioles are in town for interleague play the 12th of August through the 14th, Sunday the 14th. The Giants are giving away Hunter Pence solar bobble bodies to the first 30,000 fans, courtesy of Coca-Cola. sfgiants.com/tickets. Peavy with 5 strikeouts. Here's Ben Revere. A lot of activity in the Cove. I can tell you where I'd like to be out there. Looks like they got a floating, very large raft. That one.
Yeah, that looks like the place to be.
Two balls and no strikes.
Just missed a bit high. So there's a few phone calls made. Grab your rafts. Bring a few cold ones. This is a well-planned event right here.
Hit to right. Hunter Pence now drifting back. 2 outs. So here's Harper.
Yeah, that's a lot of activity for the Cove. We've actually seen it when there's literally 20 times the amount of vessels that are out there now. Back when Bonds was hitting home runs, you could literally walk across McCovey Cove.
Harper takes a strike. Opening 2000 lead. The first game played here. And look, the rules weren't really set out in the Cove just yet.
Yeah,
they had canoes out there. They had motorboats. They had everything out there. Kayaks with engines on them. It was kind of cool, but it was also very dangerous.
Yeah, well, since they've calmed the enthusiasm down, I would say. Still, it's easy to get in. You just have to kind of come in at a much more controlled speed.
Yeah, those guys out there are keeping track of what's going on.
Coast Guard checking in.
I think they just looked at that group and said, they look all right. Although there's still more coming in. Somebody had to make a burger run. And they're headed to the shore. It's 3-1 to Harper.
Well, the bottom line is it's just not easy to get into.
No.
I mean, you've got to earn it. And by the way, bring your sombrero.
Harper's going to lean on this one if it's a good pitch. And he pops it up, but it's going to be out of play.
He's taking a walk. He knows he had a good pitch to hit right there, and it's what he's been doing about the last 3 weeks, getting good pitches and popping it up. And what the Washington Nationals will tell you is that they think he's pulling off the ball. Flying that front shoulder, just upsetting the timing of his swing ever so much. Instead of hitting the ball square, he's popping it up.
And the walk.
That's strike 3. I don't blame Peavy. And that's the thing with Fairchild. I mean, he will definitely frustrate a pitcher. I mean, this is a little breaking ball right there. Caught well, and Posey was leaning back. You can see the reaction from Peavy.
So here's Rendon.
Take a look again one more time. The little breaking ball right at the base of the strike zone. So the inning extends. That was 50 pitches. They're going to get more out of Peavy here, and he's going to have to face Rendon with a runner on first base. So that becomes a big pitch.
Foul back. Mariners beat the Cubs this afternoon. Aroldis Chapman with a blown save. No balls and 1 strike. Harper's got 15 steals, so you have to keep an eye on him. Well, the Cubs torched Seattle yesterday. Seattle comes back today. High and deep into left center field. This one is going to go, and it's gone. And that's why the pitch to Harper that was not called a strike kills you.
Peavy walked off the mound towards Fairchild, and I think he gave him some stank eye, because I mean, you just have to say to the umpire, I'll put those 2 earned runs in your ERA. Not to mention now I'm down 2-0. Take a look at it, and that's just a hanger.
So here's Worth. Worth struck out in the second. And he takes a strike.
You'll get one more look from Peavy as he heads back to the dugout at the end of this inning. He'll take one more look at Fairchild. And he's going to let him know. He's going to give him double barrel stank eye.
Well, hey, maybe Fairchild already has said to him, look, I missed it.
Well, when an umpire tells you that, it pretty much is over. And it does happen. And I always had a lot of respect for an umpire that would tell you that.
So it's 2-2 to Worth. And that'll end the inning. Peavy with words. 2-0 Nationals.
Bay Area is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com.
2-0 Nationals. Here's Pagan. And Pagan bluffs a bunt and he takes a call strike. Gillespie on deck and then Posey. So Giants have created some opportunities, but they haven't come up with the big hit. I think you could say that about all 3 games in this series. Now Pagan's going to ask for time. Pagan, with a man on second and nobody out in the first inning, popped out to Rendon. He takes in tight. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Think about Lopez. I mean, he's not afraid to come inside. There's some guys that are hard throwers, they won't go inside.
This is skied out to right field. And it's Harper. Harper will put it away. 1 out. Giants Insider podcast is sponsored by Max Muscle Sports Nutrition and is live on csnbayarea.com. You can log on each week to see Alex Pavlovich in his podcast. It's also available on iTunes. Here's Gillespie. Connor Gillespie struck out in the first inning. And he hits one foul down the left field line and out of play. Buster Posey on deck.
Gillespie's been swinging it well. 429 on the homestand.
One ball and 1 strike with Ronaldo Lopez throws, and that's popped up. That'll be shallow center field, and Espinosa will put it away. 2 outs. And here's Posey. So Buster steps up. He hit a ball deep into right center field that was tracked down by Ben Revere. And Lopez deals, and there's a strike on the outside corner. Pence to follow. This is the home half of the 3rd. Giants have gotten Lopez into the stretch in the first 2 innings, but not yet here in the 3rd. Swing, gonna miss. 1 and 2.
That's a good changeup. Well, Posey had a great at bat in his last at bat against Lopez, and it was a brilliant play from Ben Revere, the center fielder, who took away extra bases and an RBI from Posey. So I think he's seeing him pretty good. But anytime you have a young pitcher, and this is Lopez's 2nd start, you just want to get him in his stretch. Mess his rhythm up if you can.
So the 3-2 breaking ball, and now it's a full count.
When you're out there out of the lineup, you're not thinking about holding a runner on. You're not thinking about anything but the glove.
And the walk.
The more things you can put in his mind to think about it, the more distracted he can become, the more mistakes he'll make with his location.
Now batting, right fielder, number 8, Hunter Pence.
So here's Hunter Pence. Pence doubled off the wall in the 2nd. So we're going to foul off of Severino.
He was on it. 97. Pence was hot when he was down in Sacramento rehabbing the injury. I mean, he really was swinging the bat well. Ten for 20, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 7 RBIs. That's in 7 rehab games. And they all missed him. You bet they did.
Oh, 1. And it's a big breaking ball, 0-2. Belt to follow. One and 2.
As I mentioned, Lopez will go inside. And we also talked about how some hard throwers won't do that for one reason. They're afraid they're going to hit somebody. Don Robinson, the caveman, was that way. He didn't like pitching inside. He was a hard thrower.
Breaking ball hit on the ground. And that'll end the inning. So no runs, a walk, 1 left. Through 3, it's 2-0 Nationals.
And Bay Area is brought to you by Amici's East Coast Pizzeria. When you want the best pizza in town, Amici's delivers.
On the 2-run home run by Anthony Rendon, it's 2-0 Nationals as Ryan Zimmerman will lead things off. Zimmerman reached on a fielder's choice. He had a pop-up that fell over Panic, but with a runner at first, Pence picked it up and forced the runner at second. And a shot up the middle for a base hit. Now it's up to Blanco to keep Zimmerman at first, and he does a nice job. All right, Amy G, what's up?
Well, I had a chance to sit down with the newest Giant, Eduardo Nunez, before today's game and talk to him about how he feels about becoming a Giant. Guys, he's very excited to be here. He said he's going to give 100% every day and play wherever Bruce Bochy needs him, and that could be at second, third, short, or the outfield. He says he's very comfortable playing all positions about being traded. He said it's hard when you have to leave the team that you've been with. You get kind of comfortable, but you want to come to a contender. You want to come to the ballpark every day and have something to play for, guys.
Here's Espinosa, who drives one out into left center field. Pagan on the move. He's going to have to play it off the wall into Karems to Blanco. They're going to wave in Zimmerman. We got a shot. Here's a throw home. It's offline. Zimmerman scores. So, third base coach Bob Henley really took a gamble, and it paid off.
He got lucky. And Joe Panik has a very consistently accurate arm on the relay. It's rare that he misses a throw like he does here. Off the wall, and really the Giants play this well. See the Blanco's there. Overshoot the first relay man, but he had plenty of time with the pigtail. Panik in position, and he just threw left of the plate, and Buster had no chance. Should have been out.
So here's Severino. Severino rolled a base hit into left field in the second inning. And a breaking ball and a swing and a miss.
Middle infielders will line up and they'll pigtail. If you overthrow the first one, the second one's right in the position. The footwork's good, everything's good. He just kind of gooses the throw. And that is unlike Joe Panik.
You could see where the runner was and when Panik had the baseball. Hit out into right center field. Now we'll see if Espinosa is going to tag. Pence catches. He's going to go. Here's Pence's throw, and it's cut off. One out. And here's Lopez with Espinosa at third.
Lopez still looking for his first big league hit. Struck out in his first at bat, but he showed a pretty good swing. Giants going to play the infield in.
And a bunt attempt that hits Buster Posey. It's 0-1.
That was not a squeeze. That was a safety squeeze.
Yeah, it's one of those where the runner at third has to make a choice as to whether he's going to go or not.
Well, Espinosa at third base got pretty good speed. I just don't think Dusty Baker knows Lopez well enough with the bat to put the squeeze on.
0-2. Turner is on deck. Blocked. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A new baseball for Jake Peavy, who's about to throw pitch number 66. Struck him out swinging.
So seventh strikeout for Peavy. All but one of them are swinging miss strike threes.
Turner is 1 for 2. Turner with good speed as he chases a high fastball. No balls and 1 strike. And at third is Gillespie, even with the bag. And it's now 0-2.
Now, the last time Peavy struck out Turner, he got him up above the strike zone. Same location he got the first strike in this at bat. He may go up there again. Does not have to throw a strike. He goes in the dirt. Buster Posey got to be on his toes with that runner on third.
One and two. Trying to get Turner to chase. Turner started in center field on Thursday. And that one, kind of the extendo swing, that was not a strike. And it's 1-2. See a guy be able to even foul that pitch off, you think, my goodness, there's got to be an opening somewhere on the inside part of the plate. One and two.
Peavy wanted to go inside. Buster wanted to go inside. Peavy wanted to go away.
2-2.
That's a good two-strike pitch right there. Everything has been away or down. They haven't gone back upstairs. .71 pitches for Peavy. The end of the fourth inning, you want to be 60 or less, so he's a little bit above where he would like to be.
Two balls, two strikes. And there's that pitch that runs inside. It's now 3-2. Peavy trying to get his team into the dugout. It's 3-0 Nationals. Big pitch coming up here. And the payoff. Swinging a foul. 90 down around the knees, outer half of the plate.
So outside, outside, inside, inside, outside. He's going back and forth. And Turner and Peavy having a pretty good battle right now. And pitch count, all of a sudden, Matt Reynolds heads down to the Giants' pen.
Hit high to left for Pagan. And that'll end the inning. Run on 2 hits, 1 left. Bottom of the fourth coming up. Belt, Panic, Blanco.
Ball is brought to you by T-Mobile and triple plays. Last one the Giants hit into before last night. September 6th of 2009, Aaron Rowan hitting it to Casey McGee, Felipe Lopez, Prince Fielder, and then the last one they turned, 2008, Keiichi Yabu on the mound. It was Kevin Kuzmanov who hit it to Jose Castillo, to Ray Durham, to John Bowker. And that's our greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Castillo, Durham to Bowker.
You remember those days?
I do. But I got to be honest with you, I kind of forgot them.
As long as you can go back and remember, it happened. The good old days were coming a little later than that. Belt takes high. It's 3-0. Belt drew a walk in the second. And the walk.
Fourth walk given up today by Lopez. And as of now, I mean, the previous three, they didn't score. They say walks will haunt. They haven't haunted Lopez at all today.
You're right. They haven't hurt him. They should have hurt him in the second. He gave up a double to Pence and then 2 walks, 1 to Peavy. Here's Joe Panik, who's 0 for 1. He hit a fly ball to center field. And it's high. It's 1-0.
When Panik was having his concussion symptoms, the one thing he couldn't do was track the ball out of the hand of the pitcher.
Started to feel pretty good when he went on his rehab. Doesn't have a hit since he's been back. He's 0 for 8. And there's the first strike of this half inning for Lopez. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Blanco and then Peavy. 3-0 Nationals. Chopped foul. 1-2.
That's a good changeup. And you can see the base. That is why the Nationals are so high on this kid. And the fastball that goes 94 to 98. The changeup that has identical arm action to that of the fastball, and the good hard curveball off that high 3/4 release.
Out of play.
Does he know how to pitch it at age 22? No. And he's going to throw a lot of innings to learn that. But he's got the type of stuff that he can outstuff you for 3 at bats. And that's what makes him special.
And another 1-2 pitch to Panik. Rolled foul.
I mean, normally, you can outstuff a big league hitter one time. That second time, he's going to make adjustments to what he saw in his first at bat. It's a lot more difficult to blow him away. And that third at bat, when you've got 70, 80, 90 pitches under your belt, it's not that easy to outstuff a big league hitter, but this kid can do that.
High and away.
But he is as green as can be. Start number 2 in his big league career. And really, it's when the learning process begins, when you get up here.
Two and 2. Little jam shot. It's going to fall. And Belt will get to second. So Panik on the board. Well, MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. You can watch every out-of-market game live. Includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. So the Giants doing what they did in the second inning, putting people on base for the bottom of the order, and here's Blanco. Giants are going to get somebody up in the bullpen in case all of a sudden the biggest threat you got, and Peavy's coming up. Bruce Bochy may want to go to a pinch hitter.
So once again, Matt Reynolds heads down. He's already had one hump on the day. Shouldn't take him long.
Blanco struck out in the second inning. There are your base runners. It's Belt and Panic. They have set the table. It's 2-0. The Giants have Span, Crawford, Brown, and Williamson on the bench. It's 2-0. Two balls and one strike.
Yeah, he was looking fastball, and he was going to swing at a fastball no matter what in that 2-0 count, and that just ate him up. That ball cut right above his hands. So he got some movement he wasn't expecting on the 2-0 pitch with that fastball. Mac Williamson.
Two and one to Blanco. Three balls and one strike.
Easy take there.
Blanco in the spot again. He's ahead in the count. It's 3-2.
97-mile-an-hour challenge, down the count, 3-1. You have to be around a long time to know you got to get that pitch in when you have a 3-run lead. And when he comes in on a 3-1, he's still got high velocity behind it.
Tap foul. Spoiled a pretty good pitch. I'm not sure if that pitch is a strike, but this is not a spot where you want to be a statue.
No, he's got to protect it. He turned around immediately to Chad Fairchild, the plate umpire, and asked him if that was a strike.
And he said, to you, yes. To Harper, no.
That's exactly right.
3-2. Out of play.
Next pitch for Lopez will be number 75. You want to be 60 or less after 4, and he's at 74, so you get an idea that he's way over where he should be.
So another 3-2 pitch to Gregor Blanco. And now Blanco asks for time. And the payoff. Breaking ball. Got him.
So in the end, it was a 3-2 breaking ball just to get it in strike. He sees this thing is high. He lets it go. It drops right in just below the belt. And Fairchild says, yep, that's where I like him.
So here's Mac Williamson. much you can do if you're Blanco. And you're trying to fight off 97. Sometimes you got to tip your cap. It's hard to do.
Well, it is when you're down 3-0 and you take a third strike with 2 on and nobody out, and you're out, it becomes unproductive.
So Mac Williamson is going to hit.
Giants trying to get this crowd into the game. And a big energy source, and they're just not taking advantage of it. They need a base hit here. Get a run across and light this place up.
Low to Mac Williamson.
Nobody in the Nationals bullpen right now, but I guarantee the long relievers are stretching out right now.
Those guys could be Yasmero Petit. 1 ball and 1 strike.
96-mile-an-hour challenge.
On deck is Eduardo Nunez.
Ooh, he follows it up with a changeup and just missed.
Two and one. Two and two.
Fastball again, and I doubt if Williams is looking for anything but the fastball. And 2 times he swung through 96, 97.
Breaking ball, then he stays alive.
The line for Jake Peavy is his day is concluded. 5 hits allowed, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. And he's still thinking about that home run. I'm sure he doesn't feel he should have given up. The inning should have ended on a strikeout he didn't get. They're kind of softballing Williamson, and it really I'm a little bit surprised by it because they've thrown 2 fastballs by him, but yet they keep trying to kill him with changeups and curveballs.
3-2 pitch. Look out. Well, here's Eduardo Nunez. He's 1 for 2. He's seen this kid now twice. He's probably got a pretty good idea.
Well, we said you keep setting the table. Sooner or later, somebody's going to punch one through. And this would be a good time down 3-0.
It's Belt, Panic, and Williamson. No balls and 1 strike.
97-mile-an-hour challenge, and very quickly jumps on top of Nunez. 0-1.
Nunez, his base hit was a sharp ground ball up the middle in the first. There it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Breaking ball is high. It's 2-1.
You know, he gets ahead with the fastball, then he kind of softballs around, then he gets behind the count, then he comes back in with the fastball.
Yeah, which you would lead to believe that this would be a fastball here.
And sooner or later, somebody's going to bite that fastball.
Hit into right center field, a base hit. It's going to score 1. It's going to score 2. Williamson to third, and it's a 3-2 ball game. Eduardo Nunez comes up with the hit the Giants haven't been able to get.
Welcome to San Francisco, Mr. Nunez.
Yeah, you're going to like it here.
Yes, you are. And here's the fastball challenge we're talking about. Not a lot of location. And Nunez, for the second time today, going right back up the middle with it for a base hit. And with his speed, if it finds anything close to a gap, and that outfielder feels it and his chest is turned, he's going to go for second. And an easy take it, too. And it's a one-run game.
Now here's Pagan. Pagan has popped out and flied out. He's got the tying run at third, the lead run at second, and the infield up the middle is back. And he takes high, 1 ball and no strikes.
And like you said, Yusmeiro Petit coming out of the Nationals dugout, and he's getting heated up.
On the ground, and they're going to get the out at first, and coming in to score is Williamson. Remember, Zimmerman doesn't like to throw. So the Giants tie it up.
It looks odd, doesn't it?
It really looks odd.
Because he had all the time in the world to get a throw. That play right in front of him. But he's had throwing problems that have been chronicled. It took him from third base to put him on the third base side. I mean, he had all the time in the world, and that plays right in front of him, and yet he opts to take the easy out and gives up the run. So a new ball game, tied 3-3.
So here's Connor Gillespie with Nunez at third. And Gillespie rolls it foul. Billy Hayes knocking it down. It's no balls and 1 strike. Buster Posey to follow. Should Gillespie extend the inning, it's 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Suarez, Reynolds. Stayed up there. Gillespie waited on it. 1-2.
That had some hang time to it.
Lopez to Gillespie. And the 1-2 pitch. He got him, and that'll end the inning. So the Giants, with the help of a couple of walks and a big hit by Nunez, and they score 3 times, and this game is tied. It's a 3-3 ball game as Matt Reynolds comes in to do the pitching. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Those are the numbers for Matt Reynolds in his career. His ERA under 4, and he'll be facing the lefty Ben Revere. I mean, at this point, you don't know how long Reynolds is going to be out there. I mean, he's got a lefty Harper, and then after that, it's some right-handers. So it may be that Reynolds is only going to pitch to 2 lefties unless he gets them both out and Bruce Bochy decides to extend them. This is a base hit. McDonald's True Stories, July 30th, 1959, Seal Stadium. On this date, Willie McCovey made his major league debut against the Phillies, and Stretch went 4 for 4, including 2 triples off of Robin Roberts. And the Big Mac would go on to win the National League Rookie of the Year, and he only played in 52 games.
That's how good he was. 13 homers, 38 RBIs in those 52 games. And
Stretch.
A Hall of Famer.
Here's Harper. Harper's 0 for 1. Pop up and a walk, and he takes a strike at the belt, and it's 0-1.
Got your hands full when you're on the mound and you've got Revere at first base. Reynolds has a couple of moves. And really not the easiest left-hander in the world to steal off of.
Harper takes a strike. It's now 1-2.
Two days left before a day off. I mean, you could really see Bruce Bochy get into his pen deep these next couple of days if needed.
And he got it.
What a breaking ball.
And here comes Bruce Bochy.
Breaking ball just exploding out of the strike zone, and Harper overmatched.
So Strickland's coming in. He'll be facing the righties, which are now coming up, Rendon and Worth. It's a 3-3 ball game.
Is presented by authority of the San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
So here we are in a tie ball game. And Hunter Strickland is going to go after Rendon and then Worth.
48th game that Hunter Strickland has come into. 3-1 on the year with a 3.08 ERA. Almost a strikeout an inning. certainly has strikeout stuff with high velocity fastball. He'll 2 and 4 seam the fastball with. Got a hard slider and a circle changeup. Righty's hitting .206 on the year against Strickland.
Rendon hit the home run off of Peavy in the 3rd. Runner goes. Posey gets rid of it. Got him. And Revere clipped his hand sliding across the base. And that is not good. Yep.
Well, he really went into the base hard. He was flying. I mean, Buster Posey, we always talk about how his unload time is very, very quick. This is 1.81 unload time from Posey. Look at it, his hand hits the foot of Nunez. It wasn't the bag, it was the left shoe of Nunez.
And the next pitch is down low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And that's a nice thing, keeping this speed out of scoring position.
I had 2-4. It's 2-6. Hit on the ground, foul. So 2 outs. Strickland deals. Fouled out of play. The pitch was down, and Rendon went right after it.
Buster Posey's throwing runners at it right around 40%. And that's outstanding. I mean, teams will take 25% and be happy, but 40% sort of jumps off the page at you.
It's 1-2. And it's down low. On appeal, no swing.
Jim Joyce, first base umpire, says no swing. Meanwhile, out in the Cove.
Yeah, that's David and Carrie Lukowski, newlyweds. My son Cole was the best man at that gentleman's wedding a month ago.
Nice.
Where do you spend your honeymoon?
McCovey
In
Cove.
the Cove.
Where else would you rather be?
Come on. Yeah, that's a good group. Actually, Cole is such good friends with both of them. If David hadn't asked him to be his best man, Carrie was going to ask Cole to be his bridesmaid. Cole was going to win either way.
That's a good friend right there.
2 balls and 2 strikes. And he popped it up, and this one's a mile high, and it won't be easy. Nunez is going to have to figure out AT&T Park, and he does. Just like you're playing in the Twin Cities. Not. 3-3.
The pop-up dance. next homestand. And Monday, August 15th, is Peanuts Night at AT&T Park. And your special event package will include a Peanuts Giants snow globe and a ticket to see the Giants take on the Pirates. Go to sfgiants.com/special events for more info.
Yosmeta Petit facing Buster Posey when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Petit, 25th game that he has come into. And Giants know him very well. 3-1 on the year with a 2.54 ERA. Having a solid season for Washington. Gonna have a high 80s fastball that he'll paint on both sides of the plate. Pretty straight, but seldom will he make a mistake with it out of the plate.
Posey slowly hit. Charging is Espinosa, not in time. And an infield hit for Buster Posey. And he doesn't get many of those.
He does not.
Catchers close to August don't get many of those. And he will not, nor should he, give it back.
Teets also got a curveball slider and a changeup he'll throw at you. Everything's very quiet, very quick, very short. He is a finesse guy.
Hunter Pence is 1 for 2. On the ground, maybe a pair. That's one, and that's all they'll get, as Pence will reach on the fielder's choice. The throw by Turner really eliminated any chance of a double play, and it's not likely they'd have thrown off Pence anyway. Belt has walked twice. He got the rally going in the 4th with a walk. Overshift is on for Belt, and it's wide, 1-0. You see the overshift, but in the outfield straight away. Two and 0.
First time at AT&T Park. It's my 90th birthday. Well, happy birthday. You're looking good.
Pence with his lead. And Belt takes 3-0.
You know, in watching the teams over the course of the season, we've seen some teams that really will use extreme defensive sets, and others very conservative. And I think in watching the Nationals, they're a pretty conservative team defensively.
And a strike. Three and 1 now to Brandon Belt. Belt takes high. Bell has walked for the 3rd straight time. And here's Panic. Six walks issued by the Nationals. And finally the Giants made it hurt in the 4th. 2 of those walks scored. Panic blooped a single in the right field in the 4th. Here he takes a belt high strike with Gregor Blanco on deck. Pence and Belt watching Joe Panic with a slightly open stance. And a little flip to left, but coming in is Worth, and now Pence has got to get back, and he will not get back, and that's a double play. So the Giants waste an opportunity. The double play ends the inning. It remains 3-3. And it's brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. Most wins with never winning a World Series in Major League history. Gene Mock, Dusty Baker, Clark, Griffith, and Al Lopez. So that's pretty interesting.
Well, if you're going to manage for a long time, that's not a list you want to be on.
No,
but
you must avoid that one.
All good managers. Dusty Baker, and we have nothing but respect for that man. A big, big contribution to this organization. As a coach, as a player, as a manager.
And another strike. It's 0-2. Yeah, we had a chance to play with Dusty in 1984. And let's put it this way. We had fun.
Yeah, he's a good teammate. Was a good teammate.
Little pop up out of play. Worth battling Strickland. Got him.
See you later. That's just a no respect fastball right through him. Take a look at the fastball, four-seamer. By ya.
Here's Zimmerman, who takes it low. Zimmerman has reached on a fielder's choice and then singled in the fourth inning. Outside, 2-0.
98-mile-an-hour fastball. It's just amazing as to how often we see 98 now.
No, 98 used to impress us. I wonder what it's going to take now. I think 101.
Oh, well, you saw 104 a bunch the other day in New York.
That was. I'm still thinking that gun was just a slightly tad hot.
Hey, I don't know. It looked like it was. If anything looked 104-ish, it was the pitches that Aroldis Chapman was throwing the Giants.
I know, but I didn't see any hitters going, well, I can't hit that.
I mean, 20 years ago, 98 jumped off the page. It stood out like a naked guy at the Super Bowl. I mean, but now it's all over the place.
Stood out like a guy wearing a black shirt and a tie at a ball game.
That stands out.
Popped up. Panic. Says, I got it. And he does. All right, Amy G, what's going on?
Hey guys, well, we have a brand new Amy G's Giants exclusives. It is ready at csnbarrier.com. It is sponsored by First 5 California. Talk, read, sing, it changes everything. And I sat down with Jake Peavy. Is he qualified? Yeah, he has 4 kids that he talks to, he reads to, and he sings to. If you did not know how big music is with the Peavy clan, you got to check out this interview. It's amazing. Jake loves those little boys. Guys?
Absolutely. Hey, he gave his gamer glove away to some kid who didn't have one. How about that?
We were in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he had somebody else's glove on, and you said it. You said, I bet he gave his gamer away. I was like, there's no way. I mean, that's like an infielder. Here, take my foot, but don't take my glove.
But that's Peavy. He will literally give you the shirt off his back. I mean, he is just a generous soul. I mean, he's amazing. And he saw this kid didn't have a glove, and he had one. He gave him his gamer. Not a problem.
Swing and a miss. Severino's on deck. 2 outs here in the 6th. Hit on the ground to Belt. Belt's got it. And that's going to end the inning. A nice inning for Strickland. And it'll be Gregor Blanco to lead things off. See the 2014 LDS, Yasmero Petit came in extra innings, and he threw 6 innings. He gave up 1 hit, and he struck out 7.
I don't think he ever threw the ball in the middle of the plate. He was just shaving the corners off the strike zone. And he was the difference in that game. And you had the line after the game. And Tim Hudson started at win 6. He had a quality start. Well, Petit came in relief, and he had a quality start, 6-inning appearance.
Hey, look who's on deck.
Madison Bumgarner. Shouldn't really surprise us.
Blanco has struck out twice, so he's had enough of that. And he shoots it up the middle for a base hit. And now it's not going to be Bumgarner, it's going to be Span. So Bumgarner was there up to do one thing, and that's try to hit the Coke bottle. And here's Span.
Well, I have to ask you, I mean, who do you think Petit would rather face, Span or Bumgarner?
Span.
Yeah, you might be right. Only because Bumgarner's got more power. Span 256 on the year with 4 home runs and 31 RBIs.
And that throw over maybe to see if Span was going to bunt. I don't know about Bruce Bochy putting on a bunt in the 6th inning. He's more of a bigger inning guy.
Well, I'd be surprised by it.
If Span does it, I would think that he'd be trying to bunt for a hit.
Plus, if it was just a pure sacrifice situation, he probably would have put Matt Cain up there as an outstanding bunter.
There you go.
Derek Law is ready.
Shortens up to bunt, and he takes low.
Span last night, when he was going down the first base, collided knees with Ryan Zimmerman, which is probably why he's not in the lineup today. A little bit tender today.
Blanco's got 6 steals on the year. Here's what Mike's talking about.
Hit the knee. I guess it's Cliff Robinson, I beg your pardon, first baseman. But there for a while when we were concerned about it.
And a bunt. And to throw down to second, and they got him. And Span is limping down to first.
So Bruce Bochy staying with the bunt. To our surprise. Looks like Bochy's looking for a pinch runner for Span.
Yes, he is.
Could be Jeff Samardzija.
So play on.
Maybe nobody.
Nunez has 2 hits. Fouls this one off of Severino.
Yeah, good rip. He was on him. Derek Law's ready. He stopped throwing basically. Good to go.
Swing and a pitch in the dirt. It's now 0-2. And now they're going to have Samardzija run for Span.
So with Span a little dinged up because of the collision last night, not able to run. Bruce Bochy's got to go to his starting staff. And the guy who's got the best speed of all the starters, Jeff Samardzija. It's nice to be able to go into your rotation and pull out an All-American wide receiver and have him be your pinch runner.
Petit out in front of Nunez. 0-2. And he got him. It's that sneaky high fastball that Petit throws. Here's Pagan.
Well, it is sneaky. You look at the radar gun and you're thinking, well, he's only thrown 89. What's happening? Well, it's always been deception with him. He's got a high 3/4 short arm release and a very, very tight circle. Doesn't have long arms, and that arm action gets on you quick. And he can absolutely throw darts.
Pagan is 0 for 3. He does have a run batted in. He had a ground ball to Zimmerman, and that knocked in Williamson to tie the game. Outside and low with Connor Gillespie on deck.
The other thing too about Petit's fastball, it's straight as a string. I mean, there's not a lot of movement to it. And he knows he cannot afford to miss in the middle of the strike zone, and he doesn't. He just corner here, corner there, all around the strike zone.
And this is popped up. It's going to be Harper. And that'll end the inning. Giants waste a leadoff single by Gregor Blanco. It remains 3-3. Toyota game summary, and it's brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. It's a 3-3 ball game, and you can see Rendon's got the home run. Nunez has got the big hit for the Giants. Peavy pitched well. He struck out 7. Lopez, you gotta like the arm on that kid. And we got a tie game as we head to the 7th. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
New pitcher now for the Giants will be Derek Law. Law is having a nice rookie season.
And it's Severino who takes a call strike.
Like Chad Fairchild was going to call that a strike too.
I guess I did, and he did. 2-0.
He was kind of getting ready to get in the strike position, and then whoop. 40th game that Law has been in.
And a strike. It's 2-1.
Anytime you see a reliever who's got a strikeout in an inning, and his whip, his walk, and hits combined per inning is right at 1. I mean, that's an outstanding year.
I think the Giants got a few calls about Derek Law.
Well, I would imagine they did. I mean, we get asked about him all the time. Scouts would come up in the lunchroom. I mean, he's just unusual because of how high his release is, and he's got good mid-90s velocity, a command of 4 pitches, and all of them can make you swing and miss. So yeah, we get asked about him a lot. I imagine there were some phone calls.
Severino spoiled a couple of good pitches. It stays at 2-2. Petit is on deck. On the ground, this will be at Joe Panik, and Panik will go to Belt. Here's Petit. Hey, and the Giants fans just gave him a nice round of applause. They remember. Also remember, he was one pitch away from a perfect game.
Yep, he was.
Not a perfect game.
Eric Chavez kind of spoiled it. "26 straight outs." And then you lose not only the perfect game, but the no-hitter. But if you're going to lose a perfect game with 2 outs in the 9th inning, it's better to lose it to a hit than a walk or a hit batsman.
It's very true.
Now you say, no, wait a second, you can still have a no-hitter. Yeah, but perfect game's a perfect game.
So it's 2-2 to Petit. Oh yeah, Mom and Dad got their hands full here.
You saw it happen earlier. This was last year to Max Scherzer. He had a perfect game against the Pirates with 2 outs in the 9th. Lost it to a hit batsman. Well, here was that moment, 2 outs in the 9th, September 6th of 2013, and Hunter Pence just couldn't quite get to it, and he lost the perfect game in the no-hitter. He won the game. Joaquin Arias. But it was a night of what could have been.
Here's Turner, who takes down low. Turner is 1 for 3. Javi Lopez jogging down. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
But Scherzer he loses the perfect game to a hit batsman, and he got the no-hitter. But after the game, he was sick about hitting the guy and losing the perfect game. Now he's got the no-hitter as a consolation prize, which is not a bad thing. But I still think it eats at him. That's how he lost his perfect game.
2-2. Jim Joyce was the first base umpire, and I remember Galarraga's first name, but he'd had a perfect game if Jim Joyce would have made the correct call at first. This is shot off the glove of Panic into shallow right field. And that'll be a base hit for Turner. Now you got to worry about him running. Well, he would have had a perfect game if they had replay, and they didn't then. And maybe that was part of the reason to move things along for replay.
It definitely came up in the argument.
Revere is 1 for 3. Turner with terrific speed. 1 ball and no strikes. Turner stole second in the first. Right now, Law's got to worry more about Revere than Turner.
Two outs, though. I mean, most of your concentration should be to the plate. I mean, it's an ideal situation, especially when you have a guy like Revere, who is a very good leadoff hitter himself. So if Turner decides to try and steal a base and he's thrown out, well, basically you get the leadoff next inning with Revere. If successful, you get a runner in scoring position. It should be go time.
Close. Two balls, no strikes. Turner definitely leaning. Derek Law sensing that he is leaning.
Well, and Bruce Bochy sensing as well. He's calling those throws.
So he pours in a strike.
One thing we've never seen from Bruce Bochy is a 2-0 pitch out. Now, I say that because we saw it with Roger Craig.
Did not always please the guy out on the mound.
Well, especially if you didn't go. But Roger would always say, I know I can do that with you out there. It didn't make a difference. I know you can pitch out of it, make me look good. I love that guy.
I believed him.
Well, he had a way of making you believe what he was saying. Much like this guy.
Two and one. 2-2. The Roger Craig days, the Candlestick days.
Well, and that's a remnant of Candlestick Park, the foghorn. 6.2 miles away, at least the footprint.
2-2 count, action count. Let's see if Turner goes. Nope. Hit into the gap. This is going to be trouble, but Pagan races over and makes the running catch. A run-saving catch by Angel Pagan in left field, who got a terrific jump.
And he had to have every bit of the jump. And in the end, he puts it right in the sweet spot, and the score remains tied at 3.
On CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By Kelly Moore Paints, celebrating 70 years as your neighborhood paint store. By Xfinity, X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
Petit to Gillespie and a line drive caught by the second baseman Turner for out number 1.
Boy, nice at bat. He hit that right in the button. So the difference is Posey's going to have to hit with nobody out with 1 out. And Connor Gillespie gets a big league hang with him.
Mr. Posey, 1 for 2. Hit an infield hit off of Petit in the 5th. He takes a called strike. That 18-inning game we were talking about against the Nationals, Buster caught the whole game. He caught both quality starts. Swing and a miss, nothing in 2.
You know, the one thing that came out after the offseason, Petit came back to spring training. We're talking about that game. He said, you know, there was a point when had all of our family come over to the house and we watched that game, and I got a chance to watch it. I said, was it real quiet when it was going? He said, we hung on every pitch. It was so exciting. I was so proud of that. And that was one heck of a contribution.
Oh, my goodness. You know, that's in a baseball sense, a playoff hero.
Oh, no doubt. And it's the type of an outing and an effort that will never be forgotten. I mean, years from now, Giants fans will still be talking about that game and about that outing of Petit's.
Posey hits a high foul down the right field line and out of play.
Because Petit had to hold serve. And remember, the Giants were on the road. This is in Washington. And the bullpen for the Nationals would put up a 0. Petit would trot out there and answer it. 6 times he did that.
Well, the Nationals had 9 innings of walk-off potential. So they had 27 outs where they could have ended the game. Posey hits another one down the right field line. And Harper will give chase, and that's out of play.
Got a man making a play. He brought his glove. He's been bringing it for years, and it finally paid off for him.
Finally paid off.
That a bit.
Way to go. And another 1-2 pitch to Buster Posey. He's in the dirt. There's Hunter Pence here in the 7th inning. Buster on the ground into right field. Turner's going to grab it and throw, and Posey is aboard.
Another infield hit. Time now for our Togo's big play, the Togo's way. And we go back to June 7th, 2015 against the Mets. That's when Hunter Pence made a diving catch and immediately got up and threw out Curtis Granderson to the plate for a double play. It was Pence's first game back after coming off the DL with a left wrist tendonitis. Giants were going to win that ball game 3-0. And that's our Togo's big play. A perfect throw. And that lit everybody up.
Buster Posey with his 2nd hit. And here's Pence. Pence reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th off of Petit. And he takes a strike on the outside corner. Romo now has joined Lopez. Low. Severino's done a nice job today behind the plate.
A lot of Pence jerseys here today. Everybody had one. They broke it out for the return of Hunter Pence. Long awaited return. She was shaving the outside corner.
I don't know if Hunter Pence is agreeing with that.
Little cutter on the outside corner. Pitcher's pitch.
Well, it'll force you to go out there, that's for sure. Zimmerman over, and that's out of play. It hung up there a little bit to Pence. Belt on deck. Out of play again.
So Petit stand on that outside corner.
And another 1-2 pitch. Blocked. 2-2.
Unless it's absolute, you're not going to see Posey take second on a ball in the dirt.
Petit ready. Nope. 3-2.
Away, 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 away. Shave. That's an opportunity for Bruce Bochy to start Posey with one out here, a 3-2 count.
Runner goes. Tapped, foul. So Posey will have to come back. Plus they're getting a workout.
He's in shape. Had a day off yesterday. He's going to get a day off Monday.
Posey will scramble back.
Yep.
Bobblehead?
That's a bobblehead.
3-2. Posey goes. And he walked it.
That's a great at bat. When you consider that Pence had 20 at bats in his rehab in 7 starts with Sacramento. And you could say, yeah, he probably could have got a pretty good idea from strike zone. To be able to apply it here in a situation where you're tied up, that's a good AB.
Well, when he made 2 really perfect pitches on Pence. Now Belt has been on base 3 times. 3 walks. And a strike, and it's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. 0-2. Giants have 1 hit and 11 at bats with runners in scoring position, and that was a hit by Eduardo Nunez that knocked in a pair. Belt finds himself behind in the count, 0-2. And now Petit wants to talk to Severino. So conversation over. It's 0-2 with Romo and Lopez still in the bullpen. And Belt takes high, 1-2.
Right above the hands with the fastball. Normally, this late in the season, if you're on the mound, you're not paying a lot of attention to the runner at second base if he's a catcher. Posey last week stole third, so.
And Belt takes another one. It's 2-2.
That's a good pitch. Good take. Joe Panic getting ready.
Big gap between Rendon and Espinosa. And a base hit to right field. Posey had to freeze, and the bases are loaded. So Belt comes through.
Nice two-strike at bat right there, and really there was nothing Buster Posey could do. I mean, you have to freeze on a line drive. In fact, his momentum was going back to second base. I mean, I think in his mind he thought that Rivera was going to have a chance to catch this ball.
I think he thought it was hit right at him. I think he thought probably Turner had a shot to catch it.
But even with a 2-out jump with the arm of Harper, you're not going to challenge him. Once you start back to the bag, there's no way you're going to be able to regroup and score. But good at bat, sets up the bags full for Joe Panik. And Mike Maddox, the pitching coach for the Nationals, is going to come out and talk.
Panik singled in the fourth, and a line drive to left field off of Petit that was caught by Worth. First pitch to Panik. Hits it high and deep out into right center field. Harper way out into Triple's alley. He's going to make the catch. Coming in to score is Posey, and the Giants take the lead.
Great at bat, great situational at bat. For a team that has struggled to score runs with a runner at third and less than 2 outs on this homestand, I mean, that is huge. And there's the reward back in the dugout.
So Gregor Blanco is going to hit. Severino was sent out there by the manager. I don't know if they're trying to get Oliver Perez ready or not. Maybe it. Perez is trying to get loose as fast as he can.
Well, the umpire's got to take command here. I mean, they've been giving him too much time. Severino goes out there making trips, and he goes out there and gives signs out in front of the home plate. I mean, that's a lot of time.
Blanco had a base hit in the 6th.
And they could throw over 5 times in a row.
Absolutely.
I mean, already right now, Oliver Perez is good to go. He stopped throwing. And that's all they're waiting for.
Well, Maddox keeps asking for a signal down there, and they're not getting anything.
So you throw to first again.
There's a pitch down low, 1-0.
And maybe they're going to let him pitch to Blanco. But if the Giants pinch hit Crawford on deck, no, that's it. Here he comes. So they killed enough time, got Perez ready.
Well, it's time for a change. Thanks Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. We'll be back.
Change here with 2 outs. The new pitcher will be Oliver Perez. We've seen him in every game of the series. Veteran left-hander having a good year. 2-3 with a 4.20 ERA. 36 strikeouts in 30 innings. Basically a 2-pitch guy. You're going to see a low 90s fastball with a hard slider. And he can be creative with how he gives you the delivers the ball. Maybe not so much with runners at first and third, but I mean he can quick pitch and he can spin around El Tiante style. I mean, he's not afraid to do a lot of things. A bit more conservative with a man on third base, but if you're Gregor Blanco, I think like a lot of lefties, they think breaking ball against Oliver Perez. And he's got a big sweeper. It's a good one. Saw Trevor Brown in the on-deck circle.
Blanco 1 for 7 lifetime, a double. Brown on deck. There's that breaking ball Mike's talking about. Yeah, it helps if you see it early a couple of times.
That's a low strike. I think if Jake Peavy is in the Giants clubhouse watching the game, he's losing his mind right now.
Jake, settle down.
I don't blame him.
And Harper struck out. Foul back. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Blanco hanging in there.
It's not an easy one to hang in there with, because when he comes at you with it, if you're hitting from the left side, you swear it's going to hit you in the hip. Low 3/4 release, and then here comes the break. You just try and ratchet your fanny there in the batter's box. I hope it doesn't bail on you.
Outside.
And then he can still sneak attack you with a high velocity fastball. We've seen him go 93, 95. The last one at 93.
Three-two pitch. And now Perez, maybe he doesn't face Brown. Maybe it's somebody else. But Blanco takes the walk. And Brown's going to be announced. And Dusty Baker's going to come on out again. So Dusty Baker coming out. Brown is going to be the hitter. 4-3 Giants. Grab Giant seats. Get the StubHub app. Not only will you find seats you love, whenever you want, you can find the best seat for your buck when you sort by best value. StubHub app today. Check it out. So it'll be Trinan facing Brown with the bases loaded.
Take a look at the numbers for Blake Trinan. 47th time he's come in, 4-1 with a 2.01 ERA. Really a solid season for the sinker baller. He's going to give you a high velocity from a high 3/4 release, mid 90s to high 90s, more mids than highs. And he's got a good slider changeup combination, and all three of his pitches are swing and miss type pitches.
Brown standing in.
Giants have loaded the bases a lot today.
A little flare down the right field line, but this will be foul. Trinan got into the game yesterday. He came in to face Buster Posey. He got 0-2 to Buster Posey. He threw 4 balls in the dirt.
Well, one bat down. That thing just gets blown up. Hunter Pence, look out.
So it's 0-1 to Brown.
Ball in the dirt again. Not a comfortable guy to catch given what we saw last night. And here on the 0-1. If you're Severino, the catcher for the Nationals, runner at third base, you got to be on your toes. We saw 2 of the best scuds we've seen all year long last night from Trinan.
Target is in. Away from the target, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Last night he threw 2 pitches out in front of home plate, and I mean one of them was about 8 feet in front of home plate. Trevor Brown putting on a good eyeball here.
Brown will look for something he can hit. And he walked him. Trinan opened up the at-bat with a strike, a foul ball.
Boy, and you walk somebody with the bases loaded, it's now going to get a lot more difficult to throw a strike. And Mike Maddox, the pitching coach for the Nationals, knows that. And he's going to come out and try and get a refocus going here for Trinan.
So Trinan did what he did last night. He got ahead of the hitter and then he walked him.
That run, Yusmeiro Petit's run.
Meadows got another run out at third with Nunez coming up. Nunez got a base hit with the bases loaded in the 4th to knock in a pair.
Yeah, that's been the biggest hit of the game. Really got the Giants back in it. Not only on the scoreboard, but mentally in their dugout. It's the hit they've really not been able to get for a while. There's a couple of knocks, stolen base, 2 RBIs. Trying to add on to those numbers.
Belt, Blanco, Brown. Swing. If your name, last name starts with a B, you got a shot to be on base right now. Pence. Good to have him back. It's a ball and a strike to Nunez. He skies this one into center field. And that'll end the inning as Ben Revere puts it away. Giants score twice. They take the lead. It's 5-3.
Tomorrow, 1 p.m. pregame live at 12:30. You see right here on CSN Bay Area. It is round 4 of this 4-game series. Plus, you get complete pre- and post-game coverage with Giants insider Alex Pavlovich. The home of the authentic Giants fan is right here. CSN, join us if you would. Matt Cain going to be on the hill tomorrow for the Giants, taking on Gio Gonzalez. Right now, it's Javier Lopez coming in for the 46th time.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy. Oil change and auto service. Your oil change tune-up and small experts. Harper's been on base once, and that was by way of the walk. There's a Bryce Harper fan.
He's got the Harper haircut on, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. 2-0. Romo is waiting in the wings. Lopez needs to throw a strike right here. The walk, and that's it. That's very unusual. So Romo's coming in as Harper takes the walk, and we'll be back.
established a super cool partnership with Lego. Today is Lego Day at the park. A ton of people got to go before the game and build whatever they wanted. And then earlier, Madison Bumgarner unveiled his own Lego statue. This thing's remarkable, guys. It took 300 hours to design and build. The master builder is Mark Rowe. It's used with over 36,000 Lego bricks. It weighs 180 pounds. About it, Madison said, very impressive and very realistic. He's known about it since the spring. He was pretty excited to see it, and it will live forever, permanently installed in the fan lot for fans to check out on the Giants' next homestand. It is so cool,
Very
guys.
cool. Very cool.
Well, that is. Buster Posey is out there already. They really are cool. I love Legos. Right now, it's Sergio Romo coming in. 12th or 13th time he's come in this year. 10 innings, 8 base runners allowed, 6 strikeouts against a walk. Been a lot of time on the DL this year with a little elbow problem.
We've said this before about Legos. Our kids have been out of the house for a long time. 7, 8 years. Yours the same. And if we move furniture, we still find Legos.
I know, it's amazing. It is amazing.
Runner goes. Posey's throw. And they got him! Dusty Baker turning around, grumbling, and I don't believe that was his idea.
Well, it took an absolutely perfect throw from Buster Posey. You cannot make a better throw than this. And that was 189 from Posey. From the time he caught the ball to the time Panic catches the ball.
He's out.
He's absolutely out. But look at how perfect the throw was. They will not contest that. That is the big leagues right there, folks. What a play.
And a great call by James Hoy. There's a call strike, and you're down by 2. You better make it. I mean, it's not like they're going to send Bryce Harper to AAA.
I don't think it's a bad play. I don't. But, I mean, that was an absolutely perfect throw.
Well, it's only a bad play now.
That he's out.
So that was a big rip by Rendon.
I mean, this bears watch it again. I mean, this is absolute perfection. Great exchange. Watch the back foot drop, and the step is straight in line with the target, and he throws an absolute bullet. It was right on peg. Perfect footwork.
Hook down the left field line, and foul.
Ooh. Again, this is the important thing when you talk about technique. The back foot drops back, and then you have a straight step, a straight line to your target. If you drop that back foot and it swings a little more toward the third base side, you will throw a ball that has movement on it. The straight step will ensure you have a straight throw, and it had to be perfect, and it was.
Two and two. Cued to Belt. Belt's going to have time to get to the bag. 2 outs. Rendon had a pitch or 2 to hit, and then this last one was a really good pitch from Romo. And here's Worth. Got the hat trick in strikeouts, and here he takes wide. that what you got?
I got him for 3. 3 hat trick or 3 strikeouts, 3 swing and miss strike threes. And that's 1-0 paint on the outside corner. So you want to face a guy with a 2-run lead, nobody on base, especially when that guy has power like Worth has.
Casilla getting ready to go down to the bullpen. A lot of pitches in this game for both teams. And it's 2-2 to Worth. Giants in the bottom of this inning will have Pagan, Gillespie, and Posey, and then Pence. Little pop up into center field, and it's going to be Panic who can't get it. And Worth is going to come up with a base hit. So Joe giving it all he's got, and that'll bring up Zimmerman. He represents the tying run.
Now this is an A for effort here. Just not enough arm, not enough glove.
Just don't hit your head, kid.
No.
Zimmerman against Romo. He's 0 for 4. But like anybody else that's got some power, you just can't make any mistakes to him. In this game, he's 1 for 3. Miss, no balls and 1 strike.
That's his #1 slider right there. And he had Zimmerman way out front. Place has gotten very quiet. Front door, and I don't know if that was intentional. It's a pitch that Romo wanted. Do not want to miss middle in to Zimmerman.
Cue off the end of the bat. Foul.
And that's where he wants to keep that big frisbee. He wants to keep it outer half. Let him commit to it and then let the movement go off the plate away.
One and 2. Popped him up. Side retired. Biggest play of the inning. Buster Posey throws down to Joe Panic, and they get Harper. Indeed, they did. Giants are coming up.
That's the big leagues.
game live right here on CSN Bay Area. Kelly Johnson and Fallon Smith, they'll do the honors. It'll be highlights of this game. Get the latest from Giants insider Alex Pavlovich and MLB highlights. Dodgers tonight against Arizona. So Pagan will face Trinan. And a strike at the knees. It's easy to hand out steak dinners, but I think if you're Javier Lopez, you buy Buster Posey one. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I mean the play Buster Posey made throwing out Harper, that was a huge play, not only in the inning but in the game.
There's a bouncing ball to the shortstop Espinosa. Love spending other people's money.
Well, I don't think that Javier Lopez would argue with you.
I wouldn't argue with Javier Lopez. He went to really one of those fancy schools.
Yeah, University of Virginia.
Come on, his mom was a teacher. I'm not going to argue with him.
His wife's a doctor.
Going to argue with him?
No. He's got too many layers of argument.
His dad allegedly spy with the CIA.
Yeah.
It's not true. I made that up.
Allegedly. You and I, we have 2 layers of argument, then we start cussing.
We have 2 layers of BS is what we have. 0-1 to Gillespie, who's 0 for 4. He did hit a line drive to Turner in the 7th.
I think Blake Trinan would be rough to catch.
Yeah, he reminds me of Scott Geraltz on a bad day.
Yep.
Giants fans will remember Scott Geraltz. He did 2 things. He started and he closed. Not at the same time.
He had great stuff.
There's Rusty.
Mike Phillips.
Tapped. Gillespie. And they got him. Nice play by Turner.
That was a nice play.
Turner's gotten him twice. I would not be taking him out to dinner, and here's Buster Posey.
Yeah, Ron Wotus awaiting the call back at the Giants clubhouse. They're going to look at this, but to no avail. They will not contest. They indeed get him. So Chad Chop, Sean Dunston back at the Giants clubhouse. We'll say, don't look at that one.
Buster's got a couple of hits today. He also hit a ball out to right center field that would have been a home run in any park but this one. He takes a strike. Buster has also caught Peavy, Reynolds, Strickland, Law, Lopez, and Romo. Bang, bang, nothing in 2. This was Trinan did with Buster Posey last night, and then he couldn't throw a strike after that. Out of play. Good hard breaking ball.
Oh, he's got good stuff.
Yes, he does.
I mean, he's a guy that can get you a strikeout and he also gets you a ground ball. But he always has that threat of wildness that you see Matt Belial heading down to Nationals pen.
Low. Buster Posey has thrown out 2 would-be Steelers today.
Well, this is the first one. And Ben Rivera caught, but this was the big one here. An absolute had to be perfect throw. Nails Harper. Completely turned the momentum of the inning back towards the Giants dugout.
Taps this one slowly. Coming in is Rendon. He's going to throw to first, and that'll end the inning. So Trinan puts up 3 ground balls here in the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. 5-3 Giants.
Honda, and we think that this gentleman right here, the newest Giant, Eduardo Nunez, 2 for 5 day with a double with the bases loaded, that really got the Giants back in the game down 3-0. He stole a base. Here are the 2 RBIs he had. 3-0 ball game, make it 3-2. He would later make more contribution. And we think that he's a good addition. He's our player of the game. He's brought to you by Honda.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Santiago Casilla coming in. This is a save opportunity. He's got 22 on the year. 46 strikeouts in 37 2/3. 50 base runners in 37 2/3.
Espinoza doubled in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. And a strike, and it's 0-1.
You always like to see strike 1 early with Casilla. It absolutely relaxes him.
Clint Robinson is on deck. Espinoza, it's a high foul out of play. It's 0-2. On 2. Not close. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
First curveball that he threw, and that one, as it'll often happen when you try to overthrow it, you leave it high. And what Buster Posey will often do when he sees that, he'll call it again. Make the guy make an adjustment to get that curveball back in the strike zone.
Especially when it's been one of your most effective pitches. Now it's 2-2.
2 pretty easy takes in the 0-2, 1-2 counts. Well, you're right. The curveball really has been one of his best swing and miss pitches from both sides of the plate, lefties, righties.
Espinoza steps out.
Daniel Murphy, bat in hand, helmet on.
Popped up. Pagan says he's got it. 1 out. So here's Robinson.
Fly ball's not an easy play right now with the sun, especially to the middle of the field.
See the numbers for Robinson. He started last night and went 0 for 3. On a quick pitch to Belt. 2 outs. Murphy's being pulled back.
And they're going to save him if they can get him in the batter's box, represent a tying run. Defoe, Wilmer Defoe, switch hitter with lots of speed. Now he's being called back.
It's going to be Ramos. So Wilson Ramos is going to hit. How about Wilson? Unless he's been down in the cage, he just walked by the on deck circle where the bats and the lead and the pine tar It leads me to believe that he's been down there swinging.
I don't need no stinking on deck circle stuff.
He walked by like it wasn't there.
I'm sure he's got about 50 swings in him in the batting cage by the dugout underneath the stadium before he gets into this batter's box.
And a strike, and it's 0-1. So there's the breaking ball.
Well, it was up, but it was quick. And in a situation where Ramos is up there looking for a fastball, it got strike 2, and that's a good thing.
Crawford, Belt, and that's the ball game. So the Giants win their second game on this homestand, and they snap a mini 3-game losing streak. But more than anything, they played a nice, clean game. They put themselves in position to score runs, and they won a ball game.
And the new guys made contribution. And Eduardo Nunez, his first start as a Giant, he had a big day with a big swing of the bat and knocked in a pair down at 3-0. And I think the Giants have to be pretty happy that Hunter Pence back in that lineup as well.
So Pence and Nunez coming up big here this afternoon. All right. Final score here at AT Park. It's the Giants 5 and the Nationals 3. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. Eastern's Giants postgame live with interviews, and the wrap starts right now.